What's up? Peace, peace, peace. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see. Let me see. I don't know if you heard that. Just give me a second. I'm trying to see. Yeah, you can hear me. I don't know if you heard my intro. Anyway, I'll play it later on again to see if it comes up. I'm here at the Facebook chat. I'm going live. All right. Peace and blessings. Again, Maborka, Maborka, Maboica, what up? Bienvenido. And welcome. So with this title, I think that I'm gonna send this out also to a brother who's known as an elder in the Black conscious community. I think that we need to send him this, so he can, because a lot of times you have a discussion with people, but they want to rattle on and on and on. So it's better if I just send him a video with something that he wanted me to prove. You know what I'm saying? And off the rip, let me tell you like this. I have tolerance for people's differences. I get along with Judaism, people that's into Judaism. I get along with Muslims and I get along with Christians. So this in no way is a shout out, a shot. Here we go. I don't know if you heard that, but to my Christian brothers and sisters, I got family. I come from Christianity. But here's the thing that I learned. These are old conversations that I had back in the 80s, man. In the 80s. But it seems like people wasn't listening. They didn't want to listen. This is information that goes way, way back. Again, it went over people's head. They just didn't want to listen. Maybe it wasn't time for them to listen. You know what I'm saying? So I could take that into account. You know what I'm saying? No doubt about it. But here's the thing. There's true Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And there is a revised version of Christianity. Because remember, like I said before, a lot of religious practice has an economic base. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it, you go all around the world. First of all, most of your cities, I noticed traveling to different cities has a church street or church avenue, and there's always a central church that was at the beginning of the enactment of this particular city. Many cities are like that. You look around, you see Church Street, Church Avenue, and there's always been a church at the center. And then everything grew out from there. So, you know what I'm saying? It's an economic, it deals with economics. You look at the majority of the big churches, you know what I'm saying? Very wealthy. I live across the street from this church right here. You should see the amount of land that they have. I can walk for miles, the land that they have to manage. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the school, you have the daycare center, the schools, you have the main church, you got offices, you got an auditorium, you got hall. This is a big, big complex right across the street. And there's many, many churches. I have visited churches in Orlando that were huge. And it deals a lot with economics. And it was like that in the beginning. In the beginning, look at Vatican City, where, the Catholic, the beginning of Christianity, not the beginning, but the beginning of that particular phase of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And then as a lot of the city states begin to get their independence from the Roman Empire, and then they started the Lutheranism, with Martin Luther, the Lutheranism, Protestant, they went on and they created an economic base. When you really look at it in that terms, you know what I'm saying? When you look at it through those lenses and you see this, I'm not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything profound. You can see this. You just have to open up your eyes. So this is in no way I am putting my hands in anybody's pockets. The hell with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that if you're going to be a Christian, be a true Christian. Be honest. Be truthful. And be tolerant of other people's differences. Just like I have to be honest and truthful and be tolerant of other people's differences. So the way it goes, right? Communication, two-way communication. Communication, that's the way it goes, right? Now, the question was posed to me. I mentioned, I was in the discussion, and I mentioned to an older brother, 66 years old man, who's really, really, really in that narrative of Christianity, that particular Christianity, because like I said, even within the Christian churches, religion, you have many different schools of thoughts. You got the Protestants are different than the Seventh-day Adventists, and you have the Jehovah's Witness, you have the Methodists, you have the Lutheran. You have so many, just like they have in Islam. So many different schools. And in Judaism, a lot of different schools also. Even amongst the Black Israelites, many different schools, So we have to trace everything back to the written words. The written words. The Christianity that was practiced back in the 1900s and even before the internet is going to be different than the Christianity practiced today. That's what I'm here to tell you. Because everything is being revealed. You see, years ago, like I said in the other Facebook podcast, we didn't have access to a lot of lexicon and certain biblical dictionaries, biblical citations and Bible concordance. We didn't have this. And this is something that they were teaching amongst themselves in those seminary schools. So this brother knows that because he studied in the seminary schools. But again, what type of school of thought you're coming from? You know what I'm saying? And so it's not, like I said, you just got to be truthful and you have to be honest. And I'm going to bring up some biblical quotes and to show you about how the contradiction is there, the conflict, and why you have all this contradiction. Okay? Now, I can tell you this, that first of all, the word Christ, should I bring that one up first? No. We're going to start with the birth of what they call the Messiah, the birth of Jesus, the birth of Isa, the birth of Yeshua, depending on what language you're speaking. And again, this is that script. You know what I'm saying? This is a combination of different characters that to play into the script, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to stick with Jesus Christ, Isa Messiah, or Yeshua and Messiah, okay? Or Yahawashah Messiah. We're going to stick with that, but we're going to look at it really good. We're going to impact it. Because like I said, we're in the informational age. We have access to a lot. Blue letters. You have access to blue letters and Bible concordance and stuff like that. Okay, so we're just gonna go in now. Like I said, I'm just revisiting conversations that I had in 1980 and revisiting that. You know what I'm saying? And then I learned more on and on and on. We explored. We expanded the knowledge of knowing what is this particular story. How did it develop? You know what I'm saying? And who did it develop with? Why did it develop and stuff like that? We already discussed the why. It has a lot to do with economics. We already discussed that. But then who and why? But now, first of all, let me bring this up. Let me share my screen. Because before I share the screen, I want to tell you this. It was asked because I told the brother, did Mary, the conversation discussion, did Mary have sex with Joseph? Did Mary have sex with an angel? Was it possible for in sticking with the biblical quotes? Is it possible for angels to transform or to manifest in a human body? And then in this human body, did they have interaction with humans and women? You know what I'm saying? Those are questions for my Christian brothers and sisters. They may not like these questions, but we're going to point out some stuff. Because again, we're going to go into the Bible concordance. You can't just read a translation of something and not get into the way it originated, where did it translate from? You know what I'm saying? Is that they call that getting caught in the trance. So you get caught up in the trance and stuff like that. But here it goes. Let me share my screen. All right, you should see this. Let me see. All right, you should see this. I'll put it on full screen here. Do this here. Yeah, let's put it in full screen. How would I? I think that's good enough, right? Yeah, that's good enough. All right, make sure that I got everything rolling here and working. I don't need that. I just want to make sure that I have everything in check. Okay, no, we don't need that. All right, we're gonna go. This is in Luke, and then we're gonna, I want to show you Matthew, and this particular section when it deals with the birth. But Luke seems to be the most one that spoke about the birth or the conception of Jesus. Now, it says here, Luke 1:26, chapter 1, verse 26. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth. Later on, I'll give you the linguistics and the linguistics and the development of the word Nazareth, Nazari, or Nasari, or Naftar. Well, we can go into that. That's linguistics. We'll go into that. And that's, like I said, to Christianity. You know what I'm saying? We'll drop it at one point. But I want to stick with this particular topic and subject. Now, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. You see, and the virgin named Mary. Joseph was of the house of David. When you look at the genealogy of Jesus, and we're going to pull that up later, and I think in Matthew, when it goes over the genealogy, it gives you a list. And these are the genetic blueprints of Joseph. The genealogy of Jesus, it comes through Joseph. Now, why would they do that? Why would they put that in the scripture? Because they couldn't find the genealogy of the father. If the father was the angel, Gabriel, then what's the genealogy? Where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Just leave it up to the imagination. But the Bible is clear on the genealogy of Joseph being from the house of David. And then you had the virgin named Mary. They don't show an actual genealogy of Mary that I know of. Now, And the angel, now this is the part that's very important. In Luke 1:28, now this was this discussion, you know. The brother said, well, show me where it says that the angel knew Mary, because when they use the word knew or will indicate sexual intercourse. I'll show you that later. But I kind of like, he's right. It doesn't actually say knew her, but it even goes further. Look at this. The angel came in unto her. Came in unto her. Pay attention now. And said, hail, thou that art highly favored. You are favored, and the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, because you are about to receive this gift through me, the angel Gabriel. And I'm about to come in. I'm about to come in you. Yo, check peep the game, bro. Now you say, but it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. No, you're reading it wrong. Okay, well, let's look at the word itself. Let's go, and this is the Bible, the blue letter. Let's look at this. All right. This, of course, the Last Testament or the New Testament, not the Last Testament, the New Testament, which is called, those books are in Greek. You have a few Aramaic words in there, but yeah, it's in Greek. And here goes that same quote in Bible Concordance in Strong's numbers, Greek, right? And they got numbers like this, 2532, and on and on and on. And the angel. Well, let's look up the word angel. Angelos. Let's look up the word angel, see what it means. It's angelos. That's the key. Is a masculine noun. And a noun is a person, place, a thing, right? Right? Root word from angejo, okay, to bring tidings, right? This is the biblical, a messenger, envoy, one who is sent, an angel, a messenger from God. Then when you look at the Strong definition, means to what? Angelos, derived from angejo, probably derived from G71, which is another Strong, compare G34, to bring tidings, a messenger, especially an angel by implication, a pastor, angel, messenger, on and on and on. A messenger, envoy, one who is sent. In the scripture, both Old Testament, New Testament, one that host of heavenly spirit that, according to like Jews and Christian opinion, wait upon the monarch of the universe. There's a monarchy, and are sent to him to earth now to execute his purpose. Now make them known to men. You know what I'm saying? On and on and on. Okay? So let's go back. So we looked at the word angels, right? A pastor has a message, a messenger, can be like an angel. He's coming to relate a tiding, a message to you from the monarch, a monarchy, the monarch. In the kingdom of heaven, I sent a messenger. This kingdom in this haven or this heaven is coming down and relating a message to you. So you become an angel. Like they say, yeah, that's my angel, because, good tidings comes with that person. You know what I'm saying? This is the word we want to look at. Came in. Aiserkomai. Look at the Greek Strong's definition. Let's look it up. Came in. Come in, go in, enter in, come, arise, enter, go, to go out, or come in, to enter. Of men and animals, as into a house or a city. A man or an animal entering into a house or a city. Of Satan taking possession of the body of a person. So you got to rule that out because the angel was like Satan taking a possession of a body, or what you're saying is the angel possessed Mary. Things like as food that enters into the eater's mouth, right? Of entrance of entrance into any condition, state of things, society, or employment, to arise, come into existence, begin to be of men, to come before the public, to come into life, of thoughts that come into the mind, okay? To enter, arise, come in, right? Literally and figuratively, right? So it's giving you, let me see, but imperative, on and on and on. So it's giving you the definition of that. And then look at the different phrases that have this word came in. You find this in Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. The dove came into him in the evening, and they called unto Lot, where are the men which came into thee this night? You know what I'm saying? So, so when we look at this word, came in, gives us an indication that something was coming into this woman. Unto, let's look up the word unto her. Strengthened form, pros, preposition, unto, to, with, against, among, at. You know, something's coming to you, at, nearby, to the advantage of, towards, with regard to, you know, and preposition directed forward, towardsward. You know what I'm saying? So something is coming into her. What is it that's coming into her? What is it that came in unto her? An angel came in unto her. How did he come in? So now the question will be, well, he's an angel. You know what I'm saying? Coming into her. It doesn't mean that he had a physical body. Really? Are angels able to manifest into physical form? Where have we seen that before? Where? I'll show you. I'll show you. This is old conversation, man. So I don't know. It's boring people or whatever. This is old conversation. We had this conversations way before. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I said, we got people out here, I knew people who didn't get this lesson, they didn't get this. They didn't get the memo. They just didn't get the memo. Okay. Let me look at angels. Um, the story of Abraham, I think it's in Genesis. Abraham, Abram, Salah, get thee out of the country, depart. Abraham. Okay, the Lord appearing to him. Okay, I gotta just keep going because I gotta find it. um, hmm, I'm so out of touch here. Uh, well, maybe I did pass. Did I pass it? Well, here the Lord. I mean, when you go into the Bible, especially King James version, you just see so many inconsistency, and the use of dropping. At first, it started with God, then it became Lord God, and then they dropped the God and it became Lord. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a reason. There's a reason why that happened. I'm trying to find the part where they fed those angels. Um, okay, this angel in the where is it, man? Let me see something if I can say. me see if I can find this here. There's no. Man, where is it? Where is it? I don't want to just keep reading the whole thing. I'm sorry for that. I mean, man. Um, Lord and flocks and herd and cannon. Who's 10? Brother. Mm, guys, excuse me. I'll find it. I'm getting hot in here. I'm going to take this thing off. Well, he took Hajar's maid after and went dwelt in the tent and cannon gave her to her husband. Okay, Sarah. Okay, I think it will be the next one, right? Genesis, in Genesis, it will be, I think it will be Genesis 17:6. Let's go to Genesis 17:6. Genesis. I should have wrote all this down. I should have done that through these notes. It's just that I decided to do this in the fly. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Where's the part where the part where he sees these three men? Where is that? Can anybody out there help me? My Bible game is no, it would have to be before, man. Man, it's the part when he meets the three angels under the tree. Remember that? And then he tells Sarah to prepare. Let me take this off. Hold on 1 second, yo. Give me 1 second, man. I know it's here. Give me one minuto. Yeah, I am so sorry about that. I know it's. Let me see if anybody here in the comment. Hey, what's up, Bondor? I'm trying to find the quote. It's giving me a hard time. Because like I said, it's been a long time. These are conversations I had long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's in here somewhere. Maybe that coordinates out of her name be she's talking to God, but it could be before this. The part where he's having and they're telling him that she's gonna have a son, and he told her first of all when he saw them coming, he told Sarah to go fetch some meat for and it's in here. I just don't. I can't find it. Maybe it's before all this. Let me look at my Bible over here. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I have to find this, because I have to be truthful. I gotta give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I have to give it to you. I have to give you this because it's very, very important. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Yeah, Abraham, you know, 34 times. No, man, where the fuck is it, man? Ah, Jesus. So it could be, man. I have to find. I'm gonna do a little more studies on this. I'm gonna do a little more studies there. I'm gonna actually find you the freaking quote. Anyway, let's keep going forward. Let's keep going forward. I'm going to find you the quote. This ain't going to happen because I know it's in here somewhere and I know people know it. You know what I'm saying? It's in here. It's very important because when you bring that up, you know what I'm saying? Could be before all this thing here. Yeah, it's all before this. No, after Egypt. After Egypt. Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it. Trust me, I will freaking find this verse somewhere in here. It's just that I don't. I got a Bible there. I got all this stuff. I really don't get into it. But the main point that I was making to the brother, and that you can see, the main point is this coming into her. You know what I'm saying? Came in unto her. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, the angel. So our angel, can they form into human being? That's how I wanted to find that quote where it shows the three angels, the three men that Abraham and Sarah saw. And Abraham, the first thing he did was to tell his servant, to tell Sarah, come prepare some meat, prepares a dish for, and they sat under the tree and prepare a dish for these men. And he knew, and he even bowed down to these men. I'm going to find that. He bowed down to them and he recognized them as being angels. And these were men, human forms. Okay. So then you got to ask yourself, this angel Gabriel, because remember, as she's speaking, if you go back, as she's speaking, you know what I'm saying? When she saw him, she was troubled at his saying and cast her mind. What manner of salutation this should be? You know what I'm saying? And wait a minute. Oh, so he said, so the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled. Look at, she saw him. Let's look that up. She saw him. And when she saw him, and when she saw, okay, that's Hajar. Okay, let's go back. When she saw him, she was troubled. When she saw him, in Greek, harau, verb, properly, to stare at. She's staring. To see with the eyes, to see with the mind, or to perceive, to know, to become acquainted with experience. To look, to take heed, beware, to take for, pay heed to have seen, shown myself, appeared, right? Properly stare at. You know what I'm saying? This is a human sense to look at something. You know what I'm saying? How can you dispute that? That when she saw him, and then she was troubled at his saying. Let's go back. She was troubled, okay, at his saying, and because of what he's telling her. Hey, there, you favored. Here is a man, in human form, an angel, telling her, hey, you are blessed. You're about to receive this. Sorry to put it like that, but this is the picture. That this, when you read it for what it is, it's content. This is the picture saying, that's some pimp stuff. Hey, come to a woman, you say, hey man, you are highly favored amongst all these women because you're about to receive me. I'm about to come in you and give you a seed that's going to be, a prodigy. You know what I'm saying? That's some sweet talk. You know what I'm saying? And in casting her mind the manner of the salutations it should be. And the angel said unto her, fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favored with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son. And you shall call him Jesus in this sense, Isa. And he should be great, and he should be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God should give unto him the throne of his father David. Of his father David. Now, isn't this a contradiction? His father, David, when it was Joseph that had the genealogy of David, Now, Joseph is not his physical father. You get what I'm saying? Are you reading for comprehension? This is reading for comprehension, people. That's what I'm telling this brother. Gotta read for comprehension, man. It's right there. In order for you to understand something, you have to define words. You can't just you carry your own definitions of certain words. You got to define it. You're speaking a language that it's not even yours. You know what I'm saying? According to your ethnicity, you know? And so his father David, the throne of his father David, the prophet David, and then from Jesse and on and on and on. It was Joseph. That's genealogy. So how can he have the throne of David, that succession, that kingdomship, that succession bloodline, when he is born of God or of an angel that came into her? Something here doesn't add up. Something ain't right. And that's what I'm trying to point out to this brother. And the thing is, he's going to come to me with all this biblical jargon, Christianity jargon. Again, remember, there is a true Christianity which talks about the Messiahship. We're gonna go into that in a little bit. Messiah, right? Which means from the root word Messiah, which means to wipe away. You know what I'm saying? To wipe your sin away, to ascend yourself, drop the lower selves, like what happened to Jesus in the mountain. He had to drop. Then when they said the angel told him to do this, the devil told him to do this and that, and he answered back to the devil. He was ascending himself. He was having a conversation with his lower self. He was ascending himself on the mountain. 14 days of fasting, 14 days a night of fasting. And he had to go through this ritual like Moses did. This, they belong to a specific order, and they did things a certain way. What they call prophethood and messiahship. Messiah. It goes all the way back to David. It goes all the way back into Moses. You know what I'm saying? Wipe people clean. You know what I'm saying? Give them a new name. Give them a new way. Wipe them clean. And teach them how to overcome their lower selves. You know what I'm saying? So that is all in there. So, and he should reign over the house of Jacob forever. And his kingdom there should not end. So they're tying him to the house of Jacob. They're tying him to David. They're tying him. But remember, and should I bring it up? Should I bring it up? The genealogy of Joseph. Where is it? Man, I would need to just go into the Bible and just read all this stuff. We ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna next time I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prepare myself better and take notes and then have these quotes ahead of time, and I could just put them into the computer and we can pull out these quotes straight up. Because I don't want to go into Matthew and this right now and then have to search over these quotes, because like I said, man, it's been a while. We used to do this back in the days, walk around with a Bible, you know what I'm saying? And we used to have conversation because we were selling books and we was giving, the public, we was presenting to them a different perspective that they never heard before. They never heard this perspective before. Again, remember this, true Christianity, a true messiahship. And they take that, they hijack it, they rebrand it, reform it, and then it can, put it out there so that economically they can benefit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do with all these sciences, these schools of thoughts. In true Christianity, you had to, in order for you to enter into apprenticeship and to know, you had to know certain things. You couldn't just believe. They didn't go on blind, but they switched it to belief when the Romans got a hand of it, and the Byzantine and the Roman and that Christianity. They started to replace knowing with belief, blind faith. No longer you needed to know certain things. In order for you to go through the rite of passage and stuff, you needed to know certain information. You had to answer certain questions. One of the questions to enter into that messiahship was what walks on all four, then works on two, then walks on three. You had to answer that. That's the riddle of the Sphinx. You had to answer that in order to be accepted into apprenticeship, into this order. Okay? That's true Christianity. You know what I'm saying? You have to know certain things. And then to ascend, you have to be washed on the running river. And, you know, there's a process that was done in ancient Egypt. It was done in the Nile Valley, you know, amongst the Sabine. This is a ritual, a practice. They took that, just like they took masonry. They take that, they reformed it differently. They just reformed it and gave it you know, so it could fit their agenda, the economics. Simple as that, economics. So, you know, here you go. You know, and the angel answered and said unto her that the Holy Ghost, check that out, should come upon thee, and the power of the highest should overshadow thee. Therefore, all that holy thing which shall be, and that holy thing which shall be born of thee, that's the word, of thee should be called the Son of God. That thing, that holy thing in you that I'm about to put in you, you know, and behold, that cousin Elizabeth, she have also conceived a son in old age. This is the 6th month for with her, who was called barren. For with God nothing should be possible. That's another inconsistency, because I thought the thing that's impossible for God is that God cannot be less of himself. Can God be less than himself? Right? You talk to, you know, so we got to be careful, man, with the mind and certain things we put in. Like I said, you know, when you're going to read it. And now in today's day and time, you got lexicons, you got Bible concordance. This is the blue letter. This is the blue letter. The blue letter Bible. Man, you could just Google this. Hit the blue letter. Put in the quote that you want. And dissect it. Look at it. Look at it. This is a new age. This is the revelation time. Revealing time. Apocalyptic, right? To reveal. Revelation. Everything is being revealed because now we have the tools to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go by, oh, the words just come to me, and I understand the Bible because I'm filled with the Holy Ghost, and God just put this power in me, and God don't create like that. Everything that you see around you that God create, you can break it down chemically, biologically, chemically. You can break it down etherically. I mean, God is science, sensia, the senses that you have. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to use God for lack of a better term, I can rock with that. You want to say God, but be truthful. That God is a word for lack of a better term. That there has many different definitions according to who you're speaking with. So we have to be careful with that also. You know? This is true messiahship. This is ascending yourself. And how do you ascend yourself? And you become more mental and you expand your character and personality? Guess what? By reading. Reading, definition. Communication deals with definition. If I say things to you that you don't understand, you're not going to comprehend it. So you have to look it up. And I have to make sure that you know the definitions of the words. And you know where it's coming from in order to have this exchange with you, which is important in this day and time. So we're living in an informational age. What they call the 4th Industrial Revolution is one, the Internet of Things, and a lot of information that was not known to Christians back then. Only a few Christians had it. And they kept it to themselves. You know, because if I, you know, because you know, economics, things become very expansive when there's a scarcity of it. A scarcity. That's economics. I create a wanting for a particular object or things. That's economics. If you've seen the Wolf of Wall Street, remember when he asked the brother, the guy, the question about with the pen, the guy showed them, sell me this pen. You know what I'm saying? I can't or totally remember what he said, but it was the thing about sell me this pen. If you could sell me this pen, and the guy told him, well, I mean, I need you to write something down and think, well, I need a pen to do that. Well, here you go. I just sold you a pen. You know what I'm saying? It's so the scarcity of not having the pen at the time, but then you create an environment that he's gonna need a pen, so you create a want. That's economics. So the same thing with religion. It's the scarcity of this knowledge create a wanting to know. You know what I'm saying? So they could sell you their books. The Bible for a long time has been one of the hottest selling books in history. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the most books that's everywhere. You know, when you look at it, everywhere the Bible. You create a scarcity of information, and people are gonna they want it. You create that want in them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. You know? And so again, there's a lot of you just gotta read for comprehension. I'm telling the brother, you gotta read for comprehension. And you gotta understand that things change. The one constant law in the universe is change. And so we are revolving back. This is for my Christian brothers and sisters, and for my religious people. We're revolving back to an information that was omitted because of the scarcity. It wasn't available. But now it's available. Bible there's so much citation, there's so much articles, biblical articles that's available. And it's best to know than to just believe. Because if you just believe, they say you can believe in your car, you're going to get to your destination, but not know that there's a wheel loose. And I always said there's some people that are lucky that they get to the destination all wobbly and shit. You know, the wheels almost falling. But, that's all I wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get on here and say that. Because that's very important. You know what I'm saying? For the conversation that I was having with this brother. You know what I'm saying? So if you can take the knowledge that you learned or your belief and you can prove certain things and you get to know it. You get to know it. Okay? And you get to know that if you're going to use the word God, for lack of a better term, then you be truthful, be honest. What is God to you? Define it. Let's have this communication. Because I'm telling you, the reason why it was created was to create suppressive personality and antisocial people. All you got to do is go into Jehovah's Witness, antisociable, suppressive personalities. We got to be careful. I love my family. You know what I'm saying? And I got a very a religious family, no doubt about it. I have a religious family, but like I say, it's spoon feeding my family to know that you can ascend. The Messiahship is not so away from you. It's not a distant from you. You can ascend within your etheric body. And a lot of that has to do expand your character and personality by reading and being honest. Being honest and truthful what you're reading, man. Of course, you have talents for other people's differences, but you got to draw the line and start reading. Reading for comprehension also. Very important to read for comprehension. So, a lot of people don't like it that people are debating and stuff like that. Oh, I believe they want to, and that's okay. That's when I have talent for people differences. They want to stick to their belief. Well, you want to stick to your belief, then you have to move out the way because there are biblical scholars. There's people out here that are setting the record straight, and you cannot fault them. You know what I'm saying? You cannot fault them because they want to know. They investigate. They want to know. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to know how to get to the store. You want to know how to get to the hospital, right? You don't want to just go and run out there and believe that you're going to get there. It's going to take you longer. But when you know the actual route to the hospital, you're like, yo, I know how to get to the hospital. You know, I know how to get to this here. I know how to do this, right? You know how to go into the kitchen and we'll whip up some food. You don't believe. Another thing the brother brought up, because you see, that's when they reveal themselves. And you see a lot of suppressive personality because it's a traumatic thing that they might have went through. For 65 years, his brother didn't know who his father was. He always thought this certain man was his father. Found out after 65 years later, after he did his DNA, and found out his family, that who his true father is genetically linked. That's how I brought this up about Joseph. Genetically. Is Jesus genetically linked to Joseph? Now people will say, oh, we are genetically linked to God. Prove it. Prove it. You know? So they got to find the God DNA, the God gene, and the God DNA. That's a discussion that they're having now. But you got to prove it. So 65 years, he thought that this man, you know, he was lied to. So it created a doubt in his, you know, it was a moon energy. It created a doubt in his energy center. And then after the doubt, you start feeling fear and guilt and whatever. And I understand that. My heart goes out to you. But not everybody. See, I know. And he said, well, I believe that's my mother. I really don't know. What? I know who my mother is. I have just features genetically. I know who my mom's is. And my mom wants to tell me one day, oh, you're not my son, and this and that genetically. Mom, prove it. Genetically, prove it. Please, I want to know. I want to know. Because you should know the truth. The truth will set you free. Don't say you should believe in the truth. It says you should know the truth. Not you should believe in it. You can't believe in truth. You got to know it. You got to research, man. You got to investigate. And this is what this is. So the discussion about Mary, we got to know, hey, listen. On one hand, it's talking about genealogy. When you look up the word genealogy and you look up genetics, we're talking about a forensic science of proving certain things. And this is written science. This is a hereditary. This is a what they call ancestral tree that was written. So you're telling me that Jesus, who is God's son, the son of God, and then how he's linked to Joseph? And then the angel came in unto her. When they use, why would they use the word came in? Which is what? What is that word again? That word came in is what? Let's see. Can you hear that? I don't think I can hear it. But anyway. Isercomia. 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 Comia. Isercomia. Isercomia. Greek. You know what I'm saying? And why would they use that word that also used for the act of coming into something like the Son of God came in unto daughters of men? Have sexual relationship. Why would they use that? Or to enter into something? You know? And came unto her, and she conceived by him. Another one, Genesis. And she said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet and thy bracelet and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it to her. He gave her his signet ring, his bracelet, his staff, and everything, and came in unto her. I know this is a story of the sister that tried to disguise herself as a prostitute in the street. in order to gain. Yeah, remember that story. Came in, came in unto her, and she conceived by him. Why would they use this same? Look up the tools. Came in. Look at the word came in. Again, bo. This is different because this is in Hebrew. So in Hebrew, the act of coming in Hebrew will be here. Enter, in, carry, down, pass, out, go into, go, come in. So in Hebrew will be bo, right? Will be what? Bo will be bo, but in Greek will be different in Greek. In Greek will be aserkomia. Okay? Why would they use, why would they put that? Again, asking the question, we know who, and we answer why. Who did it? Why? Why would they do that? Why would they put the word came in and use it in reference? Put it in there and to say that the angel came in unto her. And we know the history of angels manifesting as human form. They did it with Lot. That's another story when the angels came to visit Lot, right? And remember that the men in the city of was this Sodom and Gomorrah, the city, they wanted to grab these men. So these men had to be in physical form. Huh? Check that out. So yeah, it's so much. Okay, Bondor, what's it? Have you emailed him? Okay, email who? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Oh, okay. Let's see. Someone in the chat is saying Genesis 18. Oh, in Genesis 18, they're saying in Genesis. Let's see. Let's put up Genesis 18. Thank you. Thank you. Genesis 18. Let's bring that up. It could be. Like I said, man, it's been so, thank you very much. It's been so long. You got to help me here. But this, I'm revisiting conversation I had in the 1980s. I tell you, in 81 and 82, these conversations back then, and all the time, we was telling the world, man. We was telling everybody, yo, look at this real good. Look at this real good. So it's Genesis 18. See, and the little. Oh, here, and the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre and sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted his eyes and looked, and lo, three men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself towards the ground and said, my Lord, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee. You know what I'm saying? And let a little water, I pray you, be fresh and wash your feet. Here you go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm reading. Thank you very much. Like I said, it's been a long, long time. Oh man. Bond Dog, what's up, man? I'm sorry. I'm just reading this late. I here to learn and support you, hermano. Thank you very much. CeeLo, take your time. I hear learn. Okay. CeeLo, someone in the chat is saying Genesis 8. Thank you. Haley Marion, nice meet you. Peace. He don't seem comment on. I'm sorry. I should have. I had it switched off. Not off, but no. I'm here. And thank you very much, Haley Miriam. Right, same as Lot. Really went in Sodom. Yeah. Are you in your mod? Are you his mod? Bondo, I need to make you my moderator. No doubt about that. I guess this is in YouTube. I will do that. I will do make Bondo my moderator. That's a fact. Um, yeah. Yeah, for some help is why I reply. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for your help. Uh, from the 1740 in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. I hope to visit there one day. Yeah, I've been on Sonetta. I try my best. I'm also a moderator at Sonetta, and I try my best. Haley, I try my, I do my best. You know, what I'm saying, yeah, yeah. My uniquely moniker. He- yeah, 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 man. Thank you so much. Yeah. Haley, would love to get your information. Obviously, you subscribe to the channel. That's great. Yeah, Banda. Yeah, thank you very much, man. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to see this before, but I'm here now. I'm here now. I'm here now, and um, all of this is conversation that I'm about to have with Apostle, and like I said, I appreciate everybody. I don't want to. I don't I don't want to be so, I don't want to use derogatory terms, and I don't want to beat up the brother so much. I just, let's have a discussion, you know. But again, I just get tired of the same verbiage. It's just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And like I presume it's a sister Haley Miriam, going to Ethiopia, Orthodox Ethiopian church, and you see you're gonna run into good information out there. You're gonna see, like I said, there is a true Christianity. But imagine the one in Kemet when you deal with the Hermetic principles, because I study other religion and Christian Science, and Christian Science always leads you back into the Hermetic principles, right? Hermes, triglycerides. Well, I can't pronounce that, but anyway, Hermes, twice, thrice, three times, manifestation, reincarnation. And that's what all of this really is coming from, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? That's where all of this is coming. Oh, you're a man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Haley. Haley. Miriam. Okay. What took me off was a Miriam. But yeah, Haley Celestes. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Um, when you look at the Ethiopians, and it deals a lot with Kush, deals a lot of Eritrea and Kush, and the Sudan area, saying very close. That's a horn of Africa, Somalia, and things like that. That's where, from the Nile Valley, they went into those areas and they mixed in, and they came, there's the Black Sabaeans. That's where I lean more. My ways are more Nile Valley Sabaeans, Sabaeans, Sabah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this Ethiopian Sea now is the Atlantic. Yeah, at one time, yeah, it depends on the map. Yeah, it depends on the map that you're using. You know what I'm saying? The topography, is that the right word? The map. Yeah, it would show Ethiopia as a whole landmass, and it would show Ethiopia Sea. That is a fact. That is a fact. And Ethiopia, the utopia, utopia. You know what utopia is, right? And ether. So this is where this comes from. Ether utopia, Ethiopia. I study very intensively into that in the linguistics, and study the definitions of word, and how it developed, and and stuff like that. And that's Greek, I believe. But yeah, you from Bermuda, man. I just was talking about the tooth that they found in the Bahamas, in the Bermuda Triangle, and in the Bahamas, right? Benini, we call it Benini, and yeah, and the DNA that they found, they said, like, where is this DNA from? But they found that same strand in a lot of people from the Caribbean, the Bermuda Triangle, the Bermuda, from the islands, Cuba, Puerto Rico, all those islands and stuff. They're finding traces of that genetics, and they're saying, where's the genetics coming from? Who are the people? Yeah, I had. Well, sorry, these things are popping up here. I'm just reading the chat right now, and I had to learn correct knowledge from 2000. Nice, correct. And you always gonna keep going, because, like I said, there's changes, and on and on and on. Say, I, in the Hermetic principle in Tahuti, what he told me, we have truth. So when you could take your truth and fit it perfectly together with another person's truth. That's true communication. You know what I'm saying? Then you start learning more about the total truth. You know what I'm saying? We all got bits and pieces of it. We just got to put it all together. And 2000, wow. I've been looking on this search, on this quest, because that's questions. You're on a quest. I've been on a quest since I was, man, I think 9 years old, 10 years old. I wanted to know. I used to ask questions. My mother was, into the young lords, college students, and I used to see how they used to, the things conversations they used to have, and I wanted to be in those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Those scholastic conversations. And then yeah, and then went on 1979. I started searching even more and more in 1979. So I've been doing this since 1979. Really getting into that and learning about, and still to this day I learn a lot. No, we are alone out here. It sits between the Americas and Africa. Yeah, person never stop learning. That's true, Barndo. You never stop learning, man. There's so much. That's encoded into our genetics. That's the transcendental reasoning. That's going beyond. Like I always say, 96% of the multiverse is unseen. So all you could do is imagine, and that's part of learning too. You have to duplicate what the person's communicating to you, because if not, you're not going to understand it. Yeah. Yeah, we're reading a lot of the raw material, the church, and they're not giving the correct information. But again, remember what I said, it has a lot to do with the economics. But the economics of this civilization is fallen. It's failed. So that's why they had to shut down the churches in this pandemic. They had to shut down everything. It's failing. You know what I'm saying? It's all economics. It's failing. So now to rebuild and rebrand yourself, you got to get the truth. You got to put the pieces together, and it's called revolutionary, revolving back into the original state and the original knowledge, the way it was really taught. This whole thing of Christianity is really messiahship. It's a school of thought, and it has a particular, thought pattern, ways, not, I wouldn't say rituals, but it has a certain pattern that it has to follow. And a lot of it have to do is, again, knowing. Wow. Walks on all four, walks on two, and then on three. Can you answer the riddle for me? Why walks on all four, then on two, then on three? If you can, please answer that question on the chat. I'll give you the answer here, because you're good people. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the answer to that. Why walks on four, then two, then three? Yes, Haley. Hold up. Yeah. Man crawls on all four as a baby. Then he walks on two legs, and then he walks with a cane when he's a wise man. He walks with a cane. Man, you had to know that answer and know what it means in order to enter into the schools of the Sphinx, into the pyramid schools. See, that's what a lot of the prophets had to do. In biblical, they took that story, they took that particular school, institution, school, they mystify that. But it was a rite of passage for you to enter to certain chambers. You know what I'm saying? Certain schools. So you had to know. You had to know. And folks, man or woman, you know what I'm saying? You could be a woman and walk around with a big stick, with a cane. You know what I'm saying? Eldership, Yes. And that had to be recognized, because you had to know, like in masonry, you have an inter-apprentice, then you have a fellowship, and then you have the master masons. The 3 steps. Same thing. Same concept. So we, in the Nile Valley, our people, Black and Hispanic people, and humanity at one time, all humanity. Yes, Barn Dog, Haley is very knowledgeable, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you had to have, certain knowledge in order to attain certain, a right to do certain things. And then that was the Messiahship. That was the ascension, when you recognize to see, I'm a human man, I'm a human woman, I'm humanity. You know what I'm saying? And then you learn certain things. Yeah, Gerald Massey for better insight. As it's, yes, I know. I read Gerald Massey. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of information that we read, and especially was in 1979, I read and I got into, but a lot, I'm gonna be 60 years old. A lot of that stuff, man, I gotta revisit. I kind of like put it aside, and now, I like I'm in a different, I don't know, I'm a different vibe right now. But now I know, I see that we have to revisit because, again, the informational stage right now, what I'm saying, we're at age, and all of this information you could read Gerald Massey on the internet. Yeah. Yep. Yep. You almost 62. What? Well, I'm 60. That's good. So you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's great to know, Haley. I am so happy for you. So, so folks, this is the conversation, the discussion. Like I said, I don't want to beat no Christian up. I don't want to beat, you know, like I'm I want it's gonna be hard to have conversation with people. Like even that dude, that guy Vocab Malone, it's kind of hard. But you see the agenda. I'm like, wow, are they still doing this? Are they still going out here and doing it? And yes, because it's all about economics for them. It's all economic. Bondo, you 42. Nice, man. Bless you, my brother. Mi hermano. Moricua. Mi hermano. Yes. Both of my hermanos, Haley and Bondo, mi hermano aquí. I appreciate you very much. I'm not going to stay here on too long. But I just wanted to say that, this is the conversation, so Apostle wanted me to find it. I found it, you know what I'm saying? And I, again, revisiting again that conversation from years ago, and it's like, yo, you got to come clean. The jig is up, man. You got to come clean, bro. What's going on? And you could take what you know now, even if it's belief, but you could transform yourself. Why get stuck in the muck? Look at Haley. You're 62 years old. Bono, 50. Are you gonna stay at the age of 42? Are you gonna stay at the age of 62? Am I gonna stay at the age of 60? Come on, man. We gotta grow. Yes, the false information from the church called African is very detrimental. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they purposely done that to the continent, if that's what you're talking about, African. You know what I'm saying? It is detrimental to the mental. It's meant to keep us, again, economics. When you go to the core of it, you're gonna find economics at the seat of it. It's benefiting somebody, profiting. The profiting is benefiting, and whenever you have, so I look at my brother Apostle, and I says, well, if you're gonna have conflict, you're having conflict with so much with everybody. I'm learning because like everybody know by now, I already spilled the beans, that I am taking courses to become an ambassador for the African Kingdom Federation, and I love it, and I'm going really deep into it, and it teaches us, and also they teach us in Scientology that when you have conflict with somebody, conflict is not only two people, two parties, it's a third party. There's a third party there. So I look at a lot of times if I'm having conflict with a person, they're coming at me a certain way, I have to now expose that third party. What organization, what person, what organization, what group is telling you something that's causing you to have a conflict with me? Or vice versa. Well, let's look at that group. Let's impact. That's how you reconcile with your brother and sister. You have to expose that third group. And we know that we have had a lot of conflict within the Black conscious community and our Black and Spanish community and the island. We had a lot of conflict with each other, even family members, that tend to lean more towards you know what I'm saying? And that conflict, it's been caused by, again, you know, can you imagine the slave plantation, the conflict that was there against putting brothers against brothers? You look at the movie Django. I mean, you see that there's always that third party. There's always that third party. No, I'm saying they claim they teaching different thing from the Catholics and Protestants, yet it's no different. No, yeah, yeah, it's no different. It's no different. You know what I'm saying? When you really look at it, at the because remember the Protestant, Lutheran, later on, all their charters coming from the Catholic Church, from the Vatican City. They can't, that's your taxes. There's a 501c. You look at all the churches now, it all links up with Vatican City. They're, your social security number. Well, that's another conversation. But and when you deal with Christianity, a true Christian, in this society, a Christian makes a good soldier because a Christian obeys the order that you know, the hierarchy of this civilization, the ones, you know, yeah, yeah. The fifth dynasty of Kemet, 25th. I'm not getting that. Yeah. Well, what pre-Vatican City, um, I think the Roman Empire, when it spread out to the Byzantine, was right next door and stuff like that. Or then the Catholic, um, you know, that that sovereign state, started to, form itself and do its thing. But that was the core of it. You know what I'm saying? That was the core of it. But in order for us for true messiahship or Christian, if you want to use the word Christianity, but and I'll bring it up. I could bring this up. Let me see. Let's see something here. Now, interpret it. I want Messiah. That's what I want. I'm not gonna stay here too long. No, no, no. I wanted the Messiah or Messiah being interpreted. No. Ah, Jesus. Let me see if let me go back here and see if Oh, okay, everybody on there. Uh let's look at that. Nah, man. I just had it too, man. I think it's in John. Oh Lord, Lord, Lord. Oh, again, I'm doing it again. Maybe you guys can help me out. The part where in yeah, read Stolen Legacy. Definitely Stolen Legacy. I read that. Yeah, yeah. Stolen Legacy. And there's also Christianity and Kemet is another one that's really, really powerful. I'm trying to find the quote, and I had it on here, man. Well, I don't want to stay here too long. Like I said, next time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write all this down. Let me see. No, 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 no. I ain't gonna look for it. There's a part that it tells you that you saw the Messiah in that it was interpreted as Christ. They were calling him Christ, and I had it here and I lost it. I'm so sorry, and I lost it. I had it. No, it wasn't there. No, interpret. No, no, Christ. No. Man, it's just the prize and should be born. Blah, 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 blah. Isn't that in Matthew? Yeah. Man. Luke, I think it's in John. John. Here it goes. Found it. Here it goes, yo. Here you go. And he first findeth his own brother Simon and said unto him, we have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. So Christ is interpretation. And why did they do that? And the woman said unto them, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he come, he will tell us all things. Why would they interpret it? But who are the people that was interpreted as Christ? The Messiah. Masaha. Masa also is a Kemetic word. It goes back to ancient Egypt. Kemetic. You know, let's look up the Bible concordance on that. Finding his own brother Simon and said unto him, we found the Messiah. Messiah here, Messiah in Greek, meaning anointed one. Anointed when he was anointed, right? Right, Messiah. And go back, which is interpreted with what is Christ, is being interpreted as the Christ, Christos. So from Messiah to Christo, you know what I'm saying? Which means also anointed. But in what language? You know what I'm saying? Greek, and on and on and on. Anointed, Leviticus, on and on and on. So the anointment of a prophet goes back. Yeah. Yeah. Messiah in Christ is okay, Bardo. Bon appetit. Buen provecho. Yeah, hey, Haley. Yeah. Messiah in Christ is the same concept, means anointed. And also when you look in the walls of Kemet and you see Asar being anointed, and you see the crocodile, but they usually use the crocodile oil to anoint the body. You know what I'm saying? To create the again, giving him the rite of passage to become a Messiah, a Masaha, to wipe all, to be the one to change conditions of people. Yeah, Asaru, right? Asaru, right? One is supposed to be Hebrew and the other one Greek. That's true. And Hebrew will be Messiah. Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. But this is the thing. The whole process of messiahship, it's a rite of passage. You know what I'm saying? This rite of passage involves the school of thought involves certain ceremonies that have to take place. Ceremonies and processes that have to take place to anoint you. You know what I'm saying? And this is the same thing that went in with Christ, where they get the word Christ. You see the word Krishna, also Karast. You know what I'm saying? Karast, Krishna, and Karas. When you look at the life of Krishna, you see, or Hare Krishna, you see a similarity with the life that they say that Jesus Christ went through. Being crucified, being born of a virgin mother, Krishna. Look at the story of Krishna with the Hindus. So all of this, because I always made the analogy of the God, the Father, which is a great reference. You see that God Father, the Godfather with Vito Corleone, and I always ask the question: was Vito Corleone a real person? No, he's made up of different personalities. Angelo Bruno, which is called the Docile Don. You have Giancana, who had all the judges, political people in his pocket. You got the Vito Genovese, who was a hitman, a vicious man. You know, you had all these different, I believe, 5 different characters, and that's how they wrote the script of Vito Corleone. Same thing, scripture, same thing with the story of this character in this biblical script. You get it, scripture, and you have who? Jesus Christ, which is a bunch of characters. Krishna, right? Tammuz, right? Even Assad, Tahuti. Tahuti walked on water, according to the ancient Comedics. You know what I'm saying? All these stories, yes, all these stories do have their root in Africa. That's a fact. All those stories. And what they did is they took it out to their, you know what I'm saying? The Greek took it and formed their Zeus and their mythology. The Romans took it with Jupiter and formed their mythology. The Hindu, everybody went into the Nile Valley because that's the cradle of civilization. That is the cradle of civilization, especially when you go to Uganda, the Lake Victoria, that birthed the Blue Nile and the White Nile, the Nile, the Happy River, what they call the Nile Valley, the Nile, Aguanile. You know, that riches of soil. That's where, you know what I'm saying? They came from the waters, from the waters. And this Nile Valley was dug by our ancestors with the higher technology, but that's another story. You know what I'm saying? Africa is definitely the cradle. And if you could take this, I'm telling you, I have taken this into different sciences. Like if you study geology, oceanography, and about how the plates move, Africa, it's the continent that does not move. It's not on a plate, does not move. It's directly connected to the core of the earth. It doesn't move. All the other continent moves away from Africa. Yeah, Christianity before Christ, 16 right? That's the one. Christianity before Christ. You are absolutely correct. You know. So this is the thing. We know this. You know, how do you feel when you speak to these people, you hear them, that this narrative is still going on? And like I said, it all has to do with economics. But now the jig is up. You know, how do you feel about this? That you know this and you see brothers get on the internet, somebody like, and not to be this derogatory to the brother, not to be like Apostle, get on the internet and have this argument and this conflict with other brothers that know, right? To see all the connections, because there's all the truth fitting together as a piece of a puzzle. But some individuals, they're so fracturalized, their mind is so disconnected that they're probably the type of people that you know, they always give you tests with puzzles. Oh, you have to fit the blocks. That's how you know the child is developing well, is that they fit the block, they fit the pieces together. Puzzles is good. I bet you a lot of these brothers would not know how to fit puzzles together. Would fail the test. They will fail a simple human test. You know, this is what's going on. I appreciate you, Haley. You know, I appreciate you very much. Yeah. So let me get back on camera here. Sorry, folks. So yeah, I mean, we have it's getting dark outside, so I got my light. Yeah, again, you know, I hate, like I said, I hate to put the brother on the put him on blast or they beat on him all the time. It's like they used to beat on Bashir all the time about Islam. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I just want to, you know, I'm interested to find out about certain mentalities, because again, remember, an ambassadorship, you have to learn how to diffuse conflict. You got to learn these things. So you know, I'm just curious to know, you know, hey, listen, here's this information and simple information, because what you brought up, Haley, it's right. But I don't think the brother ever know about these things and even read it. It's thief of everything Africa. That's true. That's true. Again, they hijack our schools. They even hijack everything from Africa. And they rebranded and reformatted and put it out there in a tainted version. And that's what they did. You know, right now, like I said, I'm doing a lot of studies that in North America, It's a huge, old, antique African presence. And it shows up in our DNA, because I've done my DNA. All Mali, a lot of Mali. And then you say, wow, when you go in, you study genetics, what the research that 23andMe did, and the genetics, and you study, it doesn't add up with historical. There's a lot of discrepancies in there, man. And then a brother just sent me some information about how there's certain glyphs that appears in Massachusetts, up here in the north part of America, and all over, that predates, goes back into the 500 BC. Africans been here. This was known as another part of Africa. It was called Amexem. This is another part of that continent. When you look at oceanography, geographical oceanography, it was just one river that was separating South America from Africa, and then the other continent, North America. That's all. It's all deals with, and those continent moves out away from that continent that we know as Africa today. Beat on cause. Yeah, they beating up on him a lot, man. They use him for that, and I don't want to be. I don't want to fall into that, because I don't want to. I don't want to be the type to be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Respect. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be. I don't want to join that group, that group, that always that bully group, that bullies and beat them up. I just want him to be aware of one thing. There are people here that know we have access. We read, like you, Haley, you yourself. You know what I'm saying? The books that you read, and you presented, Stolen Legacy. There's a lot of books out here on Christianity before Christ. You know what I'm saying? African Christianity. There's a lot of information out here as reference for you to dig deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? So before, the European didn't want you to have access to this. They didn't want you to know that you predate them in these lands. So what do? They kidnap our brothers and sisters from Africa. They tie into the vine. They put out this narrative about transatlantic slavery, right? They concentrate on that, and little by little, we lose our other story, that we were here way before. We were here, Africans. Africa's the cradle. Yeah, he should respect other humanity. Is religion don't allow. Yes. I said, if you want to find a lot of suppressive personalities, just go to church. That's what I got to tell you. Go to church. You're gonna find people with so much guilt. That's the reason why they gotta pray like that. Yeah, and shame and doubt. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find that suppressive personality. They're traumatic. They've been through a lot. I got families. I don't put it in their face, but they've been through a lot. I was fortunate enough. I've been through a lot too. We all go through certain things. We all go through a lot. But I've been fortunate enough that I don't let that environment, I don't let that. It did drive me to live certain lifestyles, which today's I said, wow, what was I doing? You know what I was doing? I was running away. I wasn't facing my fears. I wasn't facing my doubt. I wasn't facing my shame or any of that. You know what I'm saying? So I get caught up in the lies. So I was, again, that's living your moon energy, right? That's the shadow self. We got a lot of people out here that are shadow self. They're solar plex. They're lunar plexes. Lunatics. They're lunatics. Facts. They're weirdos. They're lunatics, and they don't see it. So, we who do know the light, the enlightened self, we that do know, and we see the other side, and we try to balance it. So, a lot of times the burden is on them. We have to help them, and sometimes they don't want to be helped. So you just gotta drop it and keep it moving. And that's exactly what I'm doing with this brother. Yes, we have our story before the invasion. People think, when because they're so caught up in the lies that were told in social studies, in the schools, what I'm saying, and what the civilization, the stuff that they pull out. But the jig is up, my brother. They can't do that anymore. They're done. Maybe that's why they want to shut down the internet. But it's too late. It's too late. Because prior to the internet, we had a man that taught my mentor, my spiritual teacher, apart from my mother and the other elders that are my mentors. I had one mentor, a great mentor, which was Panaba Yananin, an African brother born in Africa who came here to the West and taught us all of this way before the internet. And then when he got on the internet, oh my Lord, the stuff he dropped. And you can find that in the books like Mohammedism, the books of Christism, and the book of Christism, Mohammedism, and Moisism. They're very thick books. You got to check them out. Go to Script. It's by Dr. York. You know what I'm saying? And now, and that organization put out a lot of books for reference. And then you go and you read the other books and you put the pieces together, man. You know what I'm saying? And they try to kill that. They try so hard, but the information is already out there. Most of those on Sunday put their religion before man. Yeah. They put their religion, and a lot of their religion teaches bad manners. They don't have good manners. They don't have morals. They don't have ethics. They're not truthful. They're not honest. They're not, and they're tolerant for other people's differences. It's not there. You know what I'm saying? That's how they start yelling and arguing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They can't say, "Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Let me look into it and let's impact that. Or how about this? How about that?" Have a discussion, a conversation now. And, Sanetta knows what he's doing. Yeah. I will watch that word humble, scriptures, if you read it the right way, it should teach you to seek for more, to know. You know what I'm saying? Humble, you can debase a person. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to humble yourself. You don't have to debase yourself. You know what I'm saying? But they replace that word, but you could have reverence, revere. Like, I don't humble myself in front of statues or in front of the sun or anything like that. I revere it. I recognize it. And so if I do prostrate and I do the African practice of prostrating to the ground, because that's an African practice, you're just acknowledging the fetus, the baby, the origin of it all. Yeah. Alvin Boyd Khan's work? No, I have not read Alvin Boyd Khan's work. No, I'll look it up. I'll see what it is. I have not read it, Haley. I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of information out there. A lot of information that's out there. Like I said, the jig is up. We're in an informational age right now. We could just Google things and things will pop up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. That's very, and that's I'm saying that's, and pretty soon things are going to change. Come 2022, the internet is about to change. There's a lot of things going on because you have, these companies like Facebook, YouTube, a lot of these companies, they're growing. They have employees that sit in cubicles in the buildings, Google building, whatever. They have employees that sit in cubicles and they fact check, what they call fact checking. But what are they doing? Is grabbing those algorithms and looking into the content to see if it goes against the FCC regulations or whatever. So, in other words, you're not going to be able to say certain things online because if not, it's going to be flagged. And they're getting more stricter and stricter about that, especially now with the internet and a lot of Black conscious thought People are becoming more aware of their ancestry. People becoming more aware of what they're taking in. Yes, being respectful for humanity is one of the most important things. That's the whole objective. Is to raise the value, the qualities, and the value, the personality of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because somewhere along the line, it took another step. So we got to raise. We got to start with ourselves. Raise our values and our qualities. Our personalities. Raise that up. So we're in aligned with the humanity's laws of nature. You know, and then that leads you up to the confederation, the galactical confederation laws. You know what I'm saying? If you subscribe to that particular, even if you're religious, people say they don't subscribe to that, but even when you're religious, you're talking about angels and God and heaven, you're talking about a world outside of this world. So you're talking about some extraterrestrial stuff, you know what I'm saying? They just don't know it. In religion, the whole industry, that's a lucrative interest in the industry. That makes a lot of money. The ufology, extraterrestrial, all of that makes a lot of money. You got these conventions, Star Trek, you got Trekkies, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica. You got people made a lot of money off of this. Star Wars gross a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of money, a lot of money. And it's an industry, and that goes all the way back into the early Christianity and biblical works by Vatican City or a lot of civilizations, even amongst Africans. Talk about people, star people. You know what I'm saying? That's a human nature. But it became a business. Young Eli, what's up, my brother? It became a business. So when you talk about ufology and you talk about that stuff, you're talking about an industry. You're talking about, you know what I'm saying? And that is encoded also in Christianity when they talk about angels and heaven and another world aside from our world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people call it spookism. You know what I'm saying? It's imagination and stuff like that. But that's part of human nature. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's part of human nature. But there are people that took that and they benefit from that. They make money off of that. They make money. Just look, Star Wars. Even the Black Panther became a very, very, very a lot of money. They make a lot of money off of that stuff. And then you got brothers that because Panabayanan did that when he wrote when he put together Man for Planet Risk and Mission and Mission Extraterrestrial, Agatha and Shambhala. When he spoke about these different things, they got on him because that's our stuff. That's our stuff. That's the way, when you go into the Twa people, you go into ancient Kemet, they spoke about extraterrestrial. They spoke about worlds beyond our world. That's transcendent. You know what I'm saying? And it helped the economy. It was an industry from the get-go. Since Babylon, exactly, young Eli. You know what I'm saying? All of that. And with the Anunnakis, and since in Babylon, and with the Anunnakis, Samaria. This is an industry, economic industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do a podcast on a brother's show. We call Voices in the Dark. But we're talking about ghosts. That's another thing. Ghosts and apparition. All that's an industry, man. An industry. And some people get caught up in that. So we can use it if we're going to benefit from it economically. You know what I'm saying? Because religion, all of that stuff deals with the way humanity deals with how we handle ourselves and economically, ecology, economics. That's part of life. That's part of life. No matter you like it or not, it's part of life. You know what I'm saying? When you deal with humanity at a broader level, dealing with different, and so, you even look at these sci-fi movies when you deal with the Star Trek, when you deal with that, like I said, you know what I'm saying? You see economics. You know what I'm saying? Substance. The movie Black Panther, what was their economic based on? Was on that, what was it that 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 particular metal, that they used to from the flower and from the flower, that metal, I forgot the name of it in the Black Panther. The Rithi, I don't know what it was, but you know what I'm saying? It deals with economics. Their movie about Superman, Kryptonite, you know what I'm saying? It stabilized their economics. You know, all of that you can link it back up. And in today's day and time, you know, I'm about putting my feet firm on the ground, definitely having my head at the stars and seeing the formation of the stars and stuff like that to know about, navigation, how to navigate, certain things. But putting your feet firm on the ground, man, is very important. Grounding yourself, you know what I'm saying? Vibranium. That was the economics of that whole in that movie. That was the substance. That was their economics. Vibranium, yes. You know, and even in Star Trek, you see that in order for them to power that ship, they had to have a certain um um power source. You know what I'm saying? That we're able to do that. We have a power source. Our thing is melanin. The melanin within us is economically a melanin, and they're trying to tap into that. Well, we have an abundance of melanin, and it shows up in different forms. Even though you could get dark, and not only dark when you get under the sun. Like I don't know. I get dark when I get under the sun in the summer, but then when it comes to the winter, and I'm not getting a lot of that sun, vitamin D, my skin tone gets lighter. You know what I'm saying? But that's melanin in us, man. My family's very melanated from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? From Puerto Rico, very melanated. And that's again the the biggest resource that Africa has is its people. The melanin in the people is the biggest resource that Africa has. The number one resource. It has other resources because the reason why we on computers and cell phones and all that, because all of those raw material comes from Africa. You know that, right? All of those raw material, you know? But the biggest resource that Africa has is its people, its genetic blueprint, the genetics, the melanin, the richest soil in Africa, the people, one of the biggest resources. And it's spread throughout all of the different continents. Because when we go back into Pangea, right? Ganawa, Pangea, when you study geographical oceanography and it tells you about the supercontinent called Pangea. Now, if I would have been on my laptop over here, I would have brought that up. But that super one day I'm gonna do a podcast on that. That's the next one I'm gonna do about talking about geographical oceanography and how all these lands was known as Pangea. That's the name they gave it, Ganawa. That's the reason why you got the name Ghana. Ganawa. Ganawa was, a supercontinent. And we spread all over. That's why you see it. And then as the oceans became bigger and the land and the plate started to separate millions of years, and it starts separating and separating, we were still traveling because we knew it was there. We knew what was happening. Okay, our African ancestors, and then they used the currents because those plates produce currents, and so they were able to travel with currents. They didn't need sail. They had sails too, because you find ships. I got a whole what they call nautical nautical archaeology. Nautical archaeology. They unearthed a lot of ships in ancient Kemet and Africa that were able to have sails. And the way they built their ships was allowed to travel amongst. Okay, Bando. They were able to travel along these currents. They understood that. Trial and error. Some of them got lost. Some of them were able to reach sites and come back and trade. I'm finding a lot of information on this. A lot of information because you gotta go to different science. You got Nordic, you got regular archaeology, and you got the Nordic archaeology, which deals with archaeology when they unearth ships in the waters and stones in the waters. They go in the water, scuba dive in the waters. And then you got geographical oceanography where they study, they got devices that they go to the core, into the ocean ground. The ocean has a ground. So they study the ground and the core and they see how everything moves. This is a science. The oceanography, geographical oceanography started getting big in the 1970s. Jacques Cousteau, this is deep, was a scuba diver and he explored the worlds of the oceans. But you had scientists exploring the core, the crust of the ground of the ocean. How do they know that the deepest part of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, there's a deep part, a cave, real deep, the deepest part, it's off of the island of Puerto Rico. They have the deepest part. You know what they're finding down there? Life that they don't have no clue what the hell it is. In that, the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean is there, off of that coast. You know what I'm saying? So they study this stuff, and you gotta put that together. And you have again Nordica archaeology. I got papers on that. I've been studying up on that. I want to present it to my people and say, yo, look, these people, because we didn't have access to a lot of this stuff back then. But you know something? They did. They had access. They were discussing this since the 1900s, in the 1800s and 1900s. That's the story. What's that story of the famous story about the man with the ship that went in the waters? Damn, man, my mind. You gotta excuse me. Yeah, it was a movie about that. The center to the journey to the center of the earth, and then spoke about it, about a ship that was in the waters. So they had studies. Even in the 1800s, 1900s, they were already in the waters looking at artifacts, cities in waters, off of the Japan, off of the Bermuda Triangle, cities, not an Akatha. Yeah, Akatha is another city within Shambhala. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got the Admiral Byrd that said that he travels into Shambhala, that story, into the North Pole, that's how they see the Aurora Borealis, and there's study on that also. But a lot of people are going to write that off as mythology and stuff like that. They don't know. But again, that's an industry also. You know what I'm saying? They made a lot of money off of that. UFO, and stuff like that. The government knows. They operate like that. You know what I'm saying? So, this is science. So you can't throw away one science for another science. They're pieces of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to talk about shipping, and you're going to talk about traveling, sailing, and traveling in the waters, in the oceans, you cannot discard oceanography. Geological oceanography, and oceanography is studying the currents. You cannot discard the studying of the stars to navigate you through the waters. You can't discard that science of astronomy. McMing in the check-in, man. What's up, my brother? Peace and blessing. So when you fact-finding and you trying to put these puzzles together, man, you can't disregard oceanography, again, geological oceanography, the study of the plate tectonic and ice shifts. You can't disregard the astronomy, how the stars are formed and how they gives direction to where you go. You can't even disregard the way the sun rises and where it's setting. There's a lot of things you can't disregard. And now in today's time, genetics. That's why this conversation started for those who are coming in now. Yes, my brother. just that everybody know how this started was I put up the biblical quotes about, the angel came into Mary. And then they use that word came into, and they use it in other situations in the Bible, in the Old Testament, which means sexual intercourse. So what you're saying, the angel was a man, had sexual intercourse, that's some pimp stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we spoke about this. You know what I'm saying? So when speaking about conception, sexual relation, anything, you can't disregard genealogy, forensic genetics. You can't disregard that. You are the father, my brother. Through genetic testing, you are the father. You know what I'm saying? Maury shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't disregard that. So when you talk about Jesus being born, and then when you speak about the genealogy, and it goes back into Joseph, who was from the tribe Jesse, for the lineage of David, was Joseph, not Mary. So how does that lines up? How does it lines up? And then this man, or this angel, in the form of a man, because angel was known to take forms of men. We've seen that with Lot, when the angels were sent to tell Lot to get out of there, they're about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. You see it with Abraham, seeing the Lord and the angels coming, the three angels, and tell him, get some meat, let me wash your feet, get some water so I can wash their feet. You see all of this. So why would they throw all of that out? And they're using the same words. In linguistics, they're using the same words to describe this incident that happened to Mary. So what is it? That Mary has sexual intercourse with another man, an angel? Huh? Or did she have sexual intercourse with Joseph? And they had to hide that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was of a certain age and she was of a certain age. She was 13 years old. I don't know how they got down at them times, but these are questions. So you got to know, you know what I'm saying, to have understand these discussions. These are stuff that are being revealed on the internet. This is the Blue Letter. This is on the internet. The Blue Letter Bible is on the internet. It breaks down the strong concordance definitions in Hebrew and in Greek. It breaks that down. Excuse me. Drink some water. You know what I'm saying? So that was this discussion. So in discussing the Bible, we got to look at historical facts. We got to look at genealogy, genetics facts. We got to look at the data, genetic data. So when you're finding your truth, you got to look into other different sciences. Genetic data, historical data. Yeah, the new encyclopedia. Yeah, they have encyclopedia.com. You can find a lot of things on the internet. This is informational age. So yeah. So that's why I say the jig is up. MacMean, the jig is up. People cannot come out here giving you this verbiage from the 1900s. And I'm talking to my Christians and religious people. You can't do that anymore because the jig is up. Their economy, and I'm like I was saying, religions deal with economy. It's economics. And their economics is failing. It's done. This pandemic has shattered the very economic. It shut down churches. It shut down Vatican. It shut down Mecca. It shut everything down, bro. Down. Economically. This informational age is what they call the fourth industrial revolution, the AI of things, the internet of things, shut everything down. The jig is up. You can't do that no more. We got to go into the next phase, man. You got to leave that shit. And all you got to use it. You got to transform it into reality. Reality. So that's why I always say, there is a true Christianity, but that's in lack of a better term, there's a true messiahship. That's an ascension. That's a rite of passage. That's how Masons get down. You become an inter-apprentice, then a fellow craftsman, and then a master mason. It's a succession. Same thing in ancient Kemet. You had to answer the riddle. My brother over here answered the riddle already. What walks on all four, then on two, and then on three? My brother already answered it. That's the riddle of the Sphinx. And it's man. Man walks on all four as a baby. He crawls on all four. Then he walks on two as a young man. Then as an elder, he walks with three. And in Mason, we call that Tubal Cain, right? The sign is what? Tubal Cain. That's the sign to a Mason. Don't take that, do that to a Mason and don't know what you're doing. But they know that. Tubal Cain. When you throw that on them, bro, they're like, yo, you are an elder. You walking with that stick. You know, when you look at ancient Kemet and you see the hieroglyphic with the man with the stick and the staff, that's an eldership, right? Then you look at you talk about Messiahship. You know what I'm saying? It talked about in Revelation that his head was white and his hair. There's this distinction between head and hair. His head means his crown is white. So what they were looking at, the walls of Kemet, Assad got a white crown. I have a white crown. You know what I'm saying? We had all white crowns when our ancestors were in the Nile Valley. It meant something. That crown meant something. The crown of Assad, Hajjet, they call it Hajjet. It meant something to us. That's true Christianity. That's knowing. That's not blind faith. You have to know certain things to enter into that school of thought. And that's all I'm saying. So you got, they took that, they hijacked that, they stole that, was a stolen legacy, they stole that, rebranded, reformed it, and put it out to benefit their economics, their agenda, their economics. The Vatican City was huge, their economics. And then when it gets to the Queen of England, her economics deal with Protestants, right? Religion is economics. It binds you to their economics. That's what it does. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here that says, man, all I got to do is form a church, form a religion, and I'll be rich as a. Got people that think like that. That's what Dr. York did. All I got to do is form a religion. All I got to do is do this, do that. But you see, he took things back, reformed it, and placed it to us back in another format, right? For us to take in. And at the same time, building economics. Building economics. Then the Wapi were very, very, very wealthy, very rich. They didn't need to go out there and propagate sell books. They were very rich. Because, again, look at Joel Osteen. Look at all these pastors. Look at the money. Yo, they riding in planes, bro. Jets. They know. All you got to do is keep its economics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got to go back to the roots. Who said that? Hold on. That's spawned on. Yeah, and we can't get to the core of things, and once you got that, and we can, again, rebrand ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Rebrand ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And build our economic, because the beginning of economics here in the United States, in these parts, in these lands, were built by our people, our ancestors. We built a political system. When you go into the Moorish paradigm and you talk and you speak to a lot of these Moors, and they're doing a lot of research in Pennsylvania. I got a brother right now who's doing a lot of research in Pennsylvania. He's giving me a lot of artifacts and he's giving me a lot of documents coming from the Moorish school. And bro, that's political science. Our ancestors here that came here set up the political system. You know that? And then the Iroquois Confederation was part of it. They set up that system. Some of the first presidents, some of the first political systems here were African people, ancestry. You know what I'm saying? And they set that system up. But again, what they did, certain other groups that were allowed to come in here And all they had to do is occupy 5 seats in the Confederation. But after occupying those 5 seats, they started bringing in the armies. And they hijacked the system. You have courts in the judicial system that do not fit into the courts of the United States. Texas is one, right? You got courts in Pennsylvania, but with the Moorish courts that are courts. You know what I'm saying? You could take your claim there. That does not fit into the regular judicial system that we see in the corporation here in the United States. Facts, Emmanuel Bay. Emmanuel Bay. Yeah. Yeah. Young Eli. Yeah. You got a lot of information out there because this are our ancestors again set up these political systems, set up a lot of the institutions, the learning institutions here, like Booker T. Washington, all the institution that was set here. That's where they learn how to set their Harvard and Yale universities. It's by watching the way our ancestors set their universities. Where? In Alhambra, which were the Berbers, indigenous North Africans. Berbers went into Alhambra, Granada, Toledo, these great learning institution. Timbuktu, learning institution. In Kemet, Amana, all these different temples, Heliopolis, what they call it Heliopolis, but Amana, Thebes, a lot of these were institutions. That's why some of these institutions, again, the sacred institutions where you get Christianity from. Masonry, that comes from ancient Kemet. And that also comes from Semitic with Nimrod. You know what I'm saying? Sargon. All those systems, man, you can trace them back. But we have to study them and learn them again. That's why I'm down with the African Kingdom Federation. I'm down also with Emperor Khufu, and I see what he's doing, setting up his state. He's got full faith and credit. He can operate as a sovereign state. He just have to put people in place. That's what's happening now, is that they know, you see, I always said this, we're caught up in the grid, what they call a gridlock. When you're in a gridlock, anybody in New York or a big city, in Miami or something, you're caught up in traffic. You don't know what's ahead of you. Let me see something. But in Nubia, South Sudan, it was a pure way of living, not one trying to get it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was honorable. They had to. There's certain morals and ethics that needed to be practiced. That's a fact, young Eli. That's a fact. But anyway, when I took gridlock, if anybody about big cities and gridlock, is so you're stuck in traffic, right? Anybody in New York, what they call the Thras Neck or those big highways, you see them gridlock. A lot of times you don't know what's ahead of you because you're in the gridlock, right? But what's ahead of you already happened. Maybe an accident, or maybe there's some trucks that are lined up and blocking everybody. Ahead of you, it's already happened. It's just you don't feel the impact of it because you're stuck in the gridlock. That's the civilization. It's already failed. Now it's beginning to unravel. What do you think? This pandemic or this infectious disease, they know this about years ago. Obama spoke about it. They knew this years ago. It's just that it caught up now because we're in a gridlock. They know that this shattered their very economical system. This shattered their way of life. They couldn't stop it. Empire rises and empire falls. It's the time for this empire to fall, and what it does, it breaks up and forms little empires, little states, until another empire rises. And I have, that's another discussion we're going to do. That's another discussion about the next empire. But anyway, it's already they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get the pieces. That's how you see them in the media. They're rambling on. They don't know. You get so many conflicting stories about everything. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They know that it's done. Their time is done. So you have brothers that have been in preparation. You have the African Kingdom Federation, you the African Union. They know it's gonna be their time. They know you got brothers and Native Americans here and brothers like Emperor Khufu are setting up a state who have, but he's working within the paradigm separate from the corporation, but at the same time, they having respect with the other states, with that full faith and credit. That's what full faith and credit is. So, you know, dignitaries and people are being put in place in different offices. Because when you run a state, it's like running a country. You have to put certain office. It's like running a lodge. You got to have your worshipful master have to set your deputy wardens and your secretary. It's organization. So that's what's happening now. Okay, they can't stop it. It's a fact. It's reality. So they're setting up their different sovereign states are being set up now. You have also, you see, I'm involved with the African Union with that sovereign state, the Queen of Sheba III, and as ambassador, a representative to represent our people in the Caribbean and in Americas, our people with the African Union, because they have certain programs like Echo 6, Region 6, we're known as Region 6. There's wealth that's allocated because remember, Africa has a very resources is its people. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of resources in there. At the same time, we're looking into the metaverse. But that's another conversation. I don't want to go deep into that about dealing with the metaverse and cryptocurrency and stuff like that. I advise everybody learn about it and learn about NFTs, learn about the metaverse, and learn about that technology because it's just another avenue. And if you look at a lot of these sci-fi movies, man, I just want to say it. Whenever you see a sci-fi movie, you always see high technology. These people know what's up. These people know which way they're heading. I just watched Finch on Apple TV with Tom Hanks. You know what I'm saying? And it shows how he built a robot and how this robot was beginning to learn human feelings. Deep movie. You got to check it out. It's a little Disney-like movie, but it's beautiful. And the sense is that I'm finding out, are these people remote viewing? They could see the future coming. Is that going to be our future? Hell no. Not in Africa. Will always be Africa. Right? Nuba would always be Nuba. Africa, another name, Nuba, Ganawa, Nuba. Right? The Nu and the Ba together. Right? South and North, Nu and the Ba together. Nubians and Saba, right? Together. You know what I'm saying? They can't stop it because this is genetics. This is a revolving of us raising 9 ether energies are raising us back up in values and qualities so they can put us back into natural nature, humanity. Okay? So anyway, so their empire has fallen. Looking now, I just learned, I just read in Barbados, they ousted the queen. She's no longer considered the hierarchy in Barbados. I'm like, what? This is happening in a lot of the islands. That's why I'm a little bit mad at Puerto Rico. They gotta get their shit together, man. You know what I'm saying? You're African people too. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? But Barbados, they go around the world. That's the reason why one of her sons, grandsons, Diana's son, Prince something, Harry, somebody with that sister, well, that half sister, mulatto sister, took him out of that. Hey, it's no longer. It's done. They're done. They're done. They're done. They're done. They don't have that clout anymore around the world. They don't. Their contract is up, and they know this. The Pope knows this. They know it's around the world. Your contract is up. You no longer have those contracts, those treaties. They're done. They're done. So now the inhibitors, the true genetics here. That's the reason why in certain countries they don't want you to do genetic uh um um research at all. Because when they find out, when they take those bones and they extract the forensic from those bones and they look at the genetics of it, and then they look into their population, they say, oh, yo, wait a minute, your people don't belong here. But they look somewhere else and say, yo, these people are the true people of these lands. Yo, how do you displace? How did this switcheroo happen? How did it happen? They don't want that. So certain countries, like in the Middle East, and certain countries don't allow it. And that's how I can't get with religious people. They don't allow, they don't believe in forensics science until the man lock them up and they're being accused of raping somebody or committing a crime or something, and they have to do genetics on them to prove it. They know they're innocent, but they go, oh no, do genetics. You see, I don't. Come on. It's another science. It's biblical too, because if you look at the genealogy of Jesus Christ, you see a succession, mirror. You see that succession, genealogy, genetics. It's all a science that's even biblical. So that's what the conversation was about. I'm going to leave it there. You know what I'm saying? The conversation about, about reading for comprehension is one, and reading that quote, and you see that there's a contradiction there. They're not telling us something. They're not telling us something. But science reveals a lot of things, because science comes to the word from sensia, your senses. So, you observe it, you taste it, you hear it, and you think it. There's a sense. Common sense. Sensia. There's a sense that allow you to determine. A lot of it is shut off in a lot of people, that allow you, the first eye, the third eye, allows you to distinguish between illusion and reality. You also have a sense right here, and that sense is allowing you to speak your truth or speak your lie, speak lies, or to recognize it, and that's tied in with it with the third eye. Is recognizing illusions or lies. It means fractal. It's fractalized, because truth is all the pieces putting together. But we all know that. We spoke about that. Anyway, peace and blessing to everybody here. Young Eli, yes. In Nubia, South Sudan, yes. It was a pure way. Yep, that's right. Sabah, it's in the South Sudan. Sabah, which is also known as Sheba. And you will also say Shabazz. Different genetics. And that's a fact. Barn Dog, thank you very much. Hey, listen, I thank everybody for coming on here. Peace and blessings to you all. And let me see. The Queen is the part of the Order of the Garter. That's right. You know about that, young Eli, the Garter, right? These men wore garters. That's all deals with prostitution. The garter, remember when marriage, they throw the garter. Yeah. They wore that around their that's why certain celebrities, when they get to a certain level, they wear the garter. Michael Jackson, they wear that garter around their arms. And that's another conversation. Yeah. Haile Selassie. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? But there's stories about Haile Selassie. I wouldn't, but it's cool, He did what he had to do. I like Anwar Sadat. They assassinated that man to bring in that Greek man Mubarak. But Anwar Sadat, they say, was the last indigenous Egyptian pharaoh to sit in that seat. Yep. Bondo, the next time, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. I really don't know. But listen, just hit the if you subscribe to this channel, just hit the notification, the bell on top says all, and it'll ring. And once I come on, the notification will come out. And I'm simultaneously being broadcast through Facebook and YouTube. I can broadcast on something else I haven't chosen, whether it's going to be Twitch or what. You know what I'm saying? I do have a Patreon, which I'm going to load up with content later. And it's going to go deeper, because a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you, a lot of this stuff is just scratching the surface, man. It's so deep you can get in with this stuff. So deep. You know what I'm saying? But I got to do a lot of research. I got good brothers that send me books for free, and I'm appreciative of that. They pay for it and they send it to me. Sometimes I do have to purchase certain books to do the research on certain things because I want to make sure that I bring in, I'm learning as I'm going along. And I don't mind as I'm learning to bring you along with me, But sometimes, if you could support, what I'm saying, that'd be cool. What I'm saying, whatever. And the Patreon, I think $5 a month, what I'm saying. But just wait until I start loaning it with content when I'm gonna go deep, deep. I'm just gonna bring up books and facts that you can actually download. I mean, and you can see it, you can have it there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this is for the youth also, because like I said, and a lot of you have said this here, what I'm saying, we have to, transform. We gotta reform a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught very well by a master teacher, and we have to continue on. You know what I'm saying? And we're for his freedom. He's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of stuff that's attached to him that we're not gonna go into. You know what I'm saying? But you got to study different things. See how people work, and most important, when I study any scholars or any man, most important is a lot of people are too nosy. They want to find out how you sleep and who you sleep with and this and that. But the most important thing is what kind of information you're bringing out. You know what I'm saying? That's more that resonates more with me is what information you're bringing out. We'll deal with that other stuff later on. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing something that's not right, that's you. It's gonna get caught, it's gonna catch up to you. But in the meanwhile, what information of truth do you have to bring to the table? What information you have to bring. So anyway, peace and blessings to y'all. And I thank y'all very much. And some very intelligent people here. Bond Dog, mi hermano, Young Eli, my brother. Yeah. And going back, Mac Mean, man. You got to check out Mac Mean. He's got some good content, man. Yeah. Mac Mean. Bondo. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? A few people came in. Haley Miriam. Haley, let me know about that. Hey, take pictures. Take pictures of maybe in the description. I'm going to put my email. Take pictures of Ethiopia, of those, and I think what you're talking about, those centers, those churches that are in the ground. Wow, that's some deep stuff in Ethiopia, man. I definitely want to check into that. So anyway, I thank everybody that was able to hang on with me. Peace, and I love you all, man. Peace.